Hello, hello. And we're live. Wonderful. This is great. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the show about love, power couples, relationships, and soulmates, twin flames, and all the wonderful and beautiful things in life. Let me just share this. Beautiful. Hey, if you're here, say hello. If you see me, hi Charlina, hi Azra. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. Missy from New Zealand. Hello, hello everyone. We are going to have one more wonderful show about love and relationships. Justine from Cairns. Hello everyone. Last time we had an incredible healing, beautiful healing for Kim done live. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch the live show. Today we are continuing the conversation about what is blocking us from love, what is blocking us from attracting love into our lives, and also what are the inhibitors of love? What are those shadow parts of us that actually kill all the beauty that we are there to experience, that we're here to came to experience? Um, Kavita is asking about job. That's a great question. We are going to be talking about love and relationships. And at the end of the show, I will probably take someone on like I did last time on to Zoom with me to do a healing, to do a clearing, or you want to diagnose, so you want to know what is happening in your life, what is stopping you from attracting love or money. If you want to ask about the job, you're more than welcome. It really doesn't matter what you testing into, because our blocks are just our blocks, and usually whatever blocks you have, they will be inhibiting your money, relationship, power, luck, um, all the things in life that you desire and you want to attract. So or if we don't have enough time, then I will offer some of you an Akashic Records channeling. That's a beautiful. Charlene says still single here. Yep, Charlene. So you will have an opportunity either to jump on with me on call today. We're going for an hour. First, I want to introduce some blocks so you can be aware for yourself. So you can have an opportunity for yourself to identify them. What I love doing is I love in empowering people in regards to their own uh, in awareness of what's going on for them. And when you have this information, when you have this knowledge, you can become your own healer. You can be your own guru. You can be your own master teacher, just with the presence and awareness of your life. So, hey, Jason, single and available. Here we go. So, Charlena, you can actually um, reach out to John. You never know, like, right? You never know where your the miracle is waiting for you. What usually blocks us from attracting love into the life, or that partner? any kind of blocks around deservability or self-worth, that's the first thing that you would need to look into. And any kind of feelings or emotions or um, even just energies with you or thoughts about, is it really possible for me? Is it am I worthy? Is this can anyone have it but I can't? So these are the thoughts around disability. This is our root chakra. We are, as physical human beings, we quite often struggle with survival, adapting to this earth, to this planet, and having this acute awareness that we can have anything anything we have, we're having the most difficulty here. So look into those possible blocks or thoughts that you might have around disability. Where else the block can be sitting when you are wanting to attract your partner, the loved one? Sexual chakra, the second chakra, or the chakra for responsible for the connection, for our aliveness, for our sexual energy. Our sexual energy is our life force energy. We come from it, we live from it, we constantly exchange it. So any kind of blocks that could be coming from past traumas, shame, abuse, any kind of restrictions on our sexuality that could be coming from childhood, look for those inhibitors. Look and find a way to release them. And of course, our heart. If our heart has been traumatized, if you have experienced the wounds of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, injustice, humiliation, that could cause our heart to shut down and close, keep it protected. What I usually do, what I often do in my sessions with clients, is I remove the heart wall. Heart wall is this energetic protection that our heart learns to uh, build. And when we experience overwhelm or pain or hurt, betrayal, or it just feels like the life is too much, the heart creates this energetic protection, like this cushion. And when we remove that, remove the trapped emotions that are holding that in place, we release a lot of energy, and a person is capable of falling really deeply into the sense of self-love, connecting to that spiritual part of ourselves. Hey, Natika. Natika had a session with me as well. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. And we are talking today about inhibitors of love. What else could be in a way of us attracting? And also today, what I would like to talk about, we started talking about shadow archetypes. We have talked about in the previous show, previous sessions, we talked about prostitute archetype, we talked about child archetype. And today I would like to introduce to you a third archetype, a third inhibitor, the shadow part of ourselves that is hindering that sense of love and sense of power. And if you want to create a power couple, if you want to create the most expanded, beautiful, and connected relationship, you need to be able to step into your sense of self-love and self-worth. And I will just quickly share my screen with you, and we're going to go through this. Okay, so shadow inhibitors of love and power, and how to alchemize it. And just to give you again an idea, um, your shadow archetypes is not your real you. This is not your authentic self. Those archetypes or those parts of us have been created as a survival mechanism for during your childhood. So this is like a coping mechanism. Once you recognize that it is not true you can take control from it. You can take control from that behavior, from thoughts, and you are not inhibited by them anymore. So 4 archetypes that we are discussing, and this is now our third today, is a victim. We are discussing prostitute, child, victim, and saboteur. Each of them has a certain way of behaving and certain way of showing up in relationship, or in your relationship with yourself, with the relationship in the world, with the relationship with time, with money. And a victim is one of the most common in our society, and one of the most tolerant. We are very tolerant towards these archetypes because victim, it's the part of us that gets abused or get hurt, get overpowered by someone else, or circumstances. However, if you remember that this is just a shadow, there is a way out, there is a way to be without it. You can take control back. So victim, it's disempowered and disempowering, ruled by fear and rules by fear, focused on disaster and doesn't set boundaries, feels like it has no support. Look what they did to me. I would have, but what might happen? Look what happened last time. And the main thing that you need to understand here, and what I see in many of my coaching sessions, especially in relationships, is boundaries. Lack of boundaries or lack of clear boundaries in families, between parents and children, between spouses, it causes a lot of uh, drama, trauma, miscommunication, hurt, and upset. And what happens is that part switches on, right? When we feel that our boundaries are stepped over or overtaken by someone, we feel victimized. We can start residing in blame and control, trying to take back the control from someone who has stepped over our boundaries. What else can a victim do? It can wait to be rescued. It wants to be in a drama triangle. Victimhood, blame, which could patterns often come from the childhood. An abuser, a bully, is also a victim. They tend to victimize others, take out all this frustration on others, and they always feel like it's never their fault. And it can say these things like, I can't, or I am alone, I have to do it alone, I guess I have to do it alone, it's again, I'm by myself, or it's all me, I have to do it all by myself. If you questioning yourself, am I enough alone? If you hear yourself or someone saying, you don't respect me, show me some respect, I don't have boundaries, I don't have choice, I'm pushed, I'm pressured, it's not my fault, it's always my fault, I don't want to be hurt, this always happens to me, no one understands me. That a victim part talking, that will, if that shows up in the relationship, that will create a quite destructive dynamic. So any signs of struggling with space, emotional space, physical space, spiritual space, like you can't you can't move, or you feel trapped, or like internally you feel trapped, any physical restrictions, or struggles with your home, um, leaking roofs, like any breakages at home in the space will indicate to you that this is a issue in the realm of the victim, right? That it's you need to look at where are your thoughts, where are the thoughts that lead to this kind of victim mentality. It also can manifest as a constant distraction, blaming yourself and others, playing the hermit, withdrawal, either not being able to bear to be alone or feeling lonely, living in the past or in the future. All forms of addictions are rooted in the victim archetype. Notice where you live in the past, like in the past of your relationships, or if you are in the future of your relationships, you don't stay in the now, but you kind of escaping the now through trying to get into the future. Notice that behavior and see if you are it could be possibly a victim speaking. How can you recognize the victim behavior? Is to move above it, move beyond it. Ask yourself questions. What can I do differently to stop this from happening? If there's some kind of repetitive behavior that sends you into the victim state and victim consciousness or victim thoughts, what can I do differently to stop this from happening? How am I contributing this event from unfolding? Any kind of taking responsibility for your situation, any kind of, you know, power statement will get you out of the victim, because the opposite of the victim is the warrior. How did I do that encouraged or enabled this person to treat me this way? And of course, I don't think there's anyone who hasn't felt mistreated in the relationships. If you have been, ask yourself, what did I do to encourage? What did I do to enable this person? Where my boundaries are not clearly stated, where they are not, where they're vague, where I'm not setting my standards and boundaries clear. What I'm going to do to stop this past history event to rule my life today? How can I claim my inner power in this situation? So this is a power chakra. Establishing boundaries, knowing your true self, knowing who you are, knowing what's good for you is our power chakra. You can ask yourself, where in my life I am not taking full ownership? Where am I trying to disown? What aspects of my life do I need to take full ownership of? Any of these questions will get you to think about responsibility and taking ownership for your life, and will get you back to the warrior state. So how do we get out of the victim? The flip side, the light side, the light archetype, the empowered place that is opposite from the victim is the warrior, the light warrior, the open-hearted part of us that continues going forward. It's enforcer of decrees and boundaries, protector. It provides unconditional support for you, for your dreams, for your desires. What other characteristics? It keeps his word, it's resourceful, finds the way, stands for, fights for, has high tolerance for risk, keeps his word to itself and to others. So if I said that It means I meant that. I'm keeping my word. And this is the place where, people that have struggled in the past, they find their resurrection in this archetype, in the warrior. They take a stand, saying, I will do whatever it takes, no matter what. I am the master of my resources. I am the source of my resources. I have everything that I need. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm doing. I'm risking it all. I'm standing by it. Those are statements that will get you from the place of the victim into the place of the warrior. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you were willing to live the life of self-mastery? Envision your life in the hands of your warrior, the powerful energy of you standing up and fighting for your values, for your dreams, for your truth, for your love, no matter what. How would it look like in your life? How would you feel? How would you behave? What would you say? What would you say in your relationships? How would you address other people? What conversations would you have? This is the place of internal power that will bring you closer to your dreams, that will bring you closer to the love that you desire, the relationship that type of relationship that you desire and you need. Jason says, get used to rejection also. Um, so I will be holding a program. I'm studying the program that is focused on dissolving the wounds of uh, rejection, abandonment, betrayal, humiliation, um, injustice. It starts on the 14th of February. This is the program to heal those wounds and to step back into the place of love, to open your heart. People that went through this program with me had an incredible success in changes, from landing big, huge clients to attracting money to changing relationships, in changing communication with parents, with siblings, with partners, and opening their way to love. That's what happens when we do the clearing. That's what happens when we uh, release those wounds and we heal our past. Uh, Now, I am. If anyone wants to jump on call and do a session, do a healing, I will share my Zoom link. If the only condition is that you have good internet, you have the sound, you have a camera, and if you have any questions about your situation, what I do is I tune into your field. I test using kinesiology, using biofeedback. I tune into your um, energetic energetic field and find the blocks that are there in the way of your money, love, success, and usually the root cause of it stems from deep childhood, and it just piles up on top of each other, like those situations um, stack on top of each other until they create a certain pattern. And when we are going back in time for the healing, we're going back, we remove this pattern and the root cause of it. Once that trauma or the pattern, the conditioning or the wound or the block is removed, is you open yourself up to whatever possibilities are there for you in the healings and the the realizations, openings from those sessions are incredible. If you want to jump on, the link I have shared the link in the chat. Last time we had a beautiful session with Kim, and we have Sheila Rose. Just going to admit her into the room, and we'll be able to chat. Sheila, hello, hello. If you have video, I can hear you, which is amazing. And we have Sheila Rose. Just going to admit her into the room, and we'll be able to chat. Okay, and we just on your end, if you could switch off the live stream. If you have video, I can hear you, which is amazing. And we have Sheila Rose. Just going to admit her. Sheila, can you hear me? If you could please switch off the live stream and just be on Zoom with me, so I don't hear, so we don't have the repetition. Yep, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have a video?
No, it's not working.
That's all right. I am quite capable of working with you without the video. So tell me, what would you like to ask? What would you like to resolve? What's the cause of the problem?
I have so many. I don't have problems. It's just that I don't know. I just
What is the main change would you like to, how would you name it?
What do you mean? What do name
like,
what?
What is the main problem that you would like to inquire into or change?
I'm trying to start a business, so and I've never done business stuff. Like I've never had a business, and it's just
Okay, so would you say that this is self-confidence?
yeah, it's filtering through all my barriers.
Yeah. Okay. So so I can tell you straight away that this is a self-confidence piece, and that's where you need to step into your power, into your sovereign. The sovereign is the one that acts, moves, and one of the first ways to step into it is through the warrior, right? One of the pathways to step into our power is to call upon our warrior. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And that energy will start building up to the point where you can push through your own limitations.
I feel like I'm starting to be on that path.
Right? How can I support you? What would you like from me today?
I just I don't know what I want. I'm not very good at asking for help.
Okay. Can I test into you? Permission to test?
Sorry?
Can I test into you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I do before I start tuning into anyone, I always ask permission, right? So person is safe, person is prepared, because basically I'm stepping into your field, and asking for consent is one of the most valuable things you can learn in this life, because then when you know how to ask for consent, you can identify your own boundaries very clearly, and you can see other people's boundaries as well. So that's just to give you an idea why I ask that, right?
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Okay, so what I'm testing is disappointment. And do you what's your relationship with disappointment?
Um, I have disappointment, but I learn from it.
Okay, that's what your mind says, but that's not what your emotional body says. That's what your it gives you the fear moving to move forward. That's your disappointments that you're still dragging from the past, and the way our mind process things and the way that our emotional body, our energetic body process things are two different things. So you can like, oh, I've learned it, but there would be still some like paralysis inside of you, like fearful to move forward. So take a deep breath now, and we're going to shake off this disappointment. Just and imagine yourself like a cat shaking off, just with your full body, like, or like a dog after swimming, like just shaking off, and like uh, just like water spraying from you. Shake off the disappointment.
I also feel like I fear my power.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That,
And what's the scariest thing about your power?
well, because I feel like I'm starting to get in touch with it, but it's scary.
Why
It's
is it scary?
because I don't know. I might I might explode or I might die because I'm finally finding something, like I'm finally finding myself. So yeah,
Yes. And how does it feel coming back to yourself with and finding yourself?
it's been like some of it's been a bit of a shock, and some of it's been exciting, and yeah, and some of it's scary.
Yeah, it's beautiful. How can I support you in coming back to yourself? You were mentioning before that you're not good at asking for help.
I'm not very
Why is that?
because I've done it all by myself anyhow, all my life. So
Mm-hmm. There's still disappointment coming up. Like the more I test in you, the more like it's still disappointment coming up for you. So that tells me about the wound of betrayal that is carrying deep from childhood, where you'd rather have all the control and not trust too much and not ask for too much from other people because they are unreliable and they can disappoint you. Where in your childhood you felt disappointed by father? Father, which age?
uh,
Tell me about your dad at the age of when you were 7.
7. My dad was a horrible man. Um, is other people listening?
Yes, you're alive. Yes. So, but if you don't want to go in deeper in detail, look into trauma or the pattern that got locked in from at around age 7, and disappointment with men, disappointment with the masculine, and disappointment with other people.
Well, he was
Um,
a good role model.
he was what?
He wasn't a good role model at all. He was full of anger and fear and
Yes. And what you have created from it is I will take control of my life, and I will I will do everything by myself. I'll do my I'd rather do it all by myself. At least if I'm disappointed, I'm only disappointed in myself and no other people. I don't have to be disappointed by other people. uh, and the way to shift it is to forgive him for his imperfections, uh, disconnect from his patterns. Otherwise, they are always with you. Otherwise, you're always dragging them with you all your life.
yeah.
Uh, Everything that we don't let go, we take on and we carry with us energetically and emotionally, and it's just like it's like a huge weight, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to write a book, and I reckon that's the way that I can let go of everything.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any kind of release, any kind of working through. Uh,
I'm hoping to do this year. So,
yes, any kind of release and sending it into forgiveness and sending and trying to see the situation from all perspectives, from the higher perspective.
well, that's how I've got to the perspective of him being angry and fearful, because I've had to look at it in a different light.
Beautiful. Um, Sheila, is there any other way I can support you? Is there anything you would like to ask or test into or clear before we go?
Um, my family relationships with my children and my grandchildren.
Okay, can you tell me more about it?
Um, I haven't seen my um, grandchildren for 15 years.
And is that your daughter or your son?
My daughter.
That's your daughter. What's between
Hmm? What's
I'm just testing what's sitting between you and your daughter. Um Shock. What has happened between you and her? Is it on her side? It's on your side. What's happened between her and you that was shocking to your relationship?
it comes from, again, my childhood, but also in just her in her partnerships as well.
Okay. Again, a shock coming up. So you are not fully accepting her her life now, her partnership, based based on your own experience, based on your own trauma. There is a shock. What I'm testing is the shock. Something has happened between you and her that needs to be healed. Okay, that I'm just going to release that. Can you take a deep breath in and imagine her coming back to you. Imagine her moving into your field. I also want to test your heart wall. Would you like to remove your heart wall?
My what?
The heart wall is like energetic protection. What is usually keeps us away from love and blocks us from self-love and love and a free flow of love with other people. What happens is that during in life, when we collect all those traumas and we collect all those experiences, our heart creates that protective layer of emotions, of frozen, unreleased emotions. And when we release them from the heart, the energy starts flowing and you have better connection with life, with yourself, and with other people. And that will allow you to attract back your family, like let them in. Would you like to release that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Does Sheila have 10 meters? So right now your heart is 10 meters. Your heart wall is 10 meters thick. And I'm gonna test in what I'm going to do is I'm using kinesiology to test into into your field and find those trapped emotions. Okay. Uh, for you to release. What do you need to release? Called fear. So fear, if you could just please massage here under the collarbone, or you can also like massage your forehead and just taking a deep breath in and releasing fear. So there is a fear in your heart, fear of being hurt, fear of being not accepted the way you are. Taking a deep breath in and opening your heart and releasing that from your heart and feeling that you're loved, you're protected. Send that into your love. What else do you need to release? Um, okay, no, that's it. There was only one emotion, fear of fear of not being fear of being abandoned. So you have trauma trauma of being abandoned and trauma of not being accepted as you are, seen as you are, loved as you are unconditionally. So taking a deep breath in and send yourself this unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, and soften your heart and allow yourself to drop the defenses, drop the protection, and drop the trauma. And imagine your daughter coming back to you into the hug. How does that feel? Mm. What does that feel?
It's all right. I feel a little bit emotional.
Yeah, so that's what you will feel after we open heart like this. You might feel a little bit more vulnerable than usual because you literally drop the protection, drop the defenses. However, now you are capable of sending yourself more love. So your homework from this from this work, from this session is going to be self-love and self-forgiveness and self-acceptance. So do maybe a ritual where you look at yourself in the mirror and for a long time, like put the timer on 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and giving yourself that unconditional love. I love you, I accept you, I see you, you're wonderful. Or some meditation that you can do, diving deep into your heart, into you, do the inner child healing, accepting yourself the way you are. Because right now, you have released that heart wall and you need to fill up that sense of vulnerability with huge amounts of unconditional love and huge amounts of acceptance, just the way you are. And so I'm feeling a lot of like quite a lot of pain in your heart because like it's literally opening up. It's just like that's that protection layer is being removed. And from here onwards, start creating your relationship with your daughter from the place of acceptance, accepting her. Once you're able to accept yourself the way you are, you will start accepting her and accepting things that they are, bit by bit. Yes?
Um, yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me know how you go, and if you need any support, please do reach out. And I can test a little bit more when we are one-on-one. Okay?
Yeah. Anastasia.
How you feel now?
Yeah, I feel okay.
That's good. Well, your heart is so much softer right now. It's not easy to drop into vulnerability, and I really honor you for this. I'm going to take you off the call. Thank you so much for joining, and please feel free to reach out at any time. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, bye. So that was a quick display or quick uh, healing for heart and heart wall. That's something that I do pretty much with every of my clients, because it's it's essential. It's essential for our love, for our connections, for our connection to ourselves, to open up the heart. It shuts down too quickly and too fast. It protects itself uh, uh, so fast. You know, we are made for survival. Sony is asking if you could look into my thyroid. What does it need? Sony, let's have a look. What's in the thyroid? Okay, Sony, what I'm testing is worthless. Can you take a deep breath in and just come back to yourself? Come back to the essence. I just felt straight away like a huge um, slope of like a column of energy coming down. The emotion of worthless and blocked throat chakra. Sony, do you speak up? Do you share what you feel like you need to say out loud? Do you speak your truth? Do you allow yourself to speak up? What else is there in thyroid? Okay, worthless. So Sonia, your affirmation for your thyroid would be, I speak my truth. I trust myself. I trust my knowing. I trust my inner knowing. I my voice is heard. I hear myself. I trust myself. So all of those affirmations that will um, encourage you to use your voice and trust your own voice. And things like, I've got something to say, I know what I have to say, I know what I know. Releasing any low self-esteem, any kind of mistrust from your throat. Beautiful. And also be mindful not to speak what you say about yourself. So be mindful, avoid self-criticism, avoid self-judgment, because if the emotions are worthless, so just see what's linked to that, where it's either you are suppressing your self-worth, or you're minimizing yourself, or not allowing yourself to fully shine. So that's what I'm testing for you. Beautiful. If anyone has any questions, please also let me know. Just looking at the comments. Our next session is going to be about fourth inhibitor of our power is the saboteur. Saboteur is a very interesting one because it actually is our mind, and beyond the saboteur is our magician, is our ability to see and know and perceive beyond the mind's comprehension is our intuition. Our magician is our alchemist, is our intuition, our gut feeling, our inner knowing, our genius. And being able to express the genius and being able to be in that power, um, it, that's what also attracts to you whatever you desire, right? Rather than being led by the mind and by the voice of the mind, which is usually quite scared or concerned or overwhelmed or overprotective, over defensive, that greatness and that power lies beyond it. So that's our next show, and please do let me know if you have any questions. What else would you like to learn, would you like to know? And if you want any kind of reading or healing, um, also reach out. I do start a new program on the 14th of February to release the past traumas of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, injustice, and humiliations that we carry from the childhood, and releasing those wounds from our energetic field, from our psyche, from our inner child, helps you through to have this path of love and connection into your life, and attract the love, attract the abundance, attract all the happiness, attract the internal that inner freedom and a sense of peace and calm and beauty. Charlena, guidance on my heart and emotions. Charlena, what's in your heart? Okay, Charlene, check in with your self-worth as well. And I know I say it a lot, but it comes up pretty much for every single person. Um, mm, how can I say it? Uh, as humans, we judge our self-worth. We have very little understanding of unconditional sense of self-worth. Our soul has the whole the access to the full self-worth and self-beauty, self-love, self-dignity as part of the divine. Our mind is trained to judge and perceive ourselves in comparison to someone or to something, and judging us based on our successes or failures or past behaviors. So coming back to the place of self-worth. Actually, I'm going to do next time. I'm going to do the healing for self-worth. That's what I'm going to offer to everyone. Um, is a healing for the sense of self-worth, because we need it. Every single person needs it so much. Most of our problems stem from the place of not honoring ourselves enough. Imagine if you lived from the place of self honor, self love, self appreciation, self acceptance to the fullest, to 100%, you wouldn't be feeling angry or superior or defensive. You will be blessed with this incredible expansion, and you will share this abundance and this graciousness and generosity with other people absolutely freely. Because there's, when we are fully in our self-love and self-acceptance, we, there's nothing that we need from other people. We have it in full capacity within us. There's no lack where when we are in this place. Charlene says, I really struggle with self-worth. Okay, Charlene, next Wednesday, at the same time, I will be sharing the healing for self-worth for everyone. Your ability to attract the beautiful partner, the one that truly one that will love you and support you the way you are and will see all aspects of you, depends on your self-worth, on the level of your self-worth. And it's the biggest spiritual awakening to understand how worthy you are, how valuable you are, how deeply you are connected to the divine. It's way beyond what mind can ever comprehend. It's sitting deeply rooted in your soul, in your vibration, in your aliveness, in your life force. You are worthy just because you have a life force within you. The life force by itself is is precious and priceless, and it's worthless and worthy at the same time. Only mind puts the concept because it compares. So I will leave you, yes, major childhood trauma. If you can join my program, and I will share the link for releasing those childhood traumas, that will be very, very beneficial for you, because you will open up, you will release that, you will leave this behind, and you will step into that place of purity and innocence and trust again, back to your original state. If you can join me, that'd be great. Uh, in any case, next show, next week, I will share the healing with everyone. And I wish you lots of blessings, lots of love, lots of beauty. I will see you next week. Bye.